Let me be clear on what we're going to agree on. You should not use AI to create your art. Like, so I'm an author, right? I don't have any interest in reading a book that's even partly generated with AI, because the whole point is that I want to read something that somebody made. I want to read what you did. There have now been multiple cases, regular authors that post like series usually, leaving the ChatGPT prompt accidentally in their book to generate their text.
What the fuck?
And one of the prompts was like, certainly, I'll rewrite your passage in the style of this other author to make it this dialogue better, and then make this character have a showcase of whatever. And it's like, whoa, this is like, why are you a writer? Isn't the whole point because you have something to say? Like, you yourself want to produce something? So I'm fully not in favor of just like ethically of just artists or videos really excelling right now. I said that in the video months ago. It has become true, obviously, because it's not a surprise that generating video is now even more realistic than it used to be, like even just a month ago. So you're a filmmaker. If you had a Unseen Obsession Part 2 button that you could click on your keyboard and just shit out a fucking 90-minute production that has the same cast, same whatever, you wouldn't use that because you didn't do that. It's not your movie. Yeah. You'd go out and get the actors and you'd write a script and you'd shoot the fucking thing. So that we're going to agree on. I don't think AI should be used in that sense. However, AI is as much a tool as Photoshop was back in the day, in the sense that prior to Photoshop, you had to like take really crazy pictures and like paint them or cut them up, or like if you're doing visual effects, I have to like re-expose the film certain ways. We now have ways to do visual effects, whether they're props or with computer generated imagery, that are far superior, take less time and effort, and frankly look better if you spend the right time and effort. Like if you spend equal amounts of time and effort doing visual effects in like the 60s with your exposing film rates versus doing time and effort to generate Avatar 2, Avatar 2 looks better. It just does. The way I see it is like AI is just another tool in a toolkit. If you are generating something, and we're going to get to like recreations of AI people in a second. That's like the big point of contention. If you're going to use AI for your visual effects, you are replacing the brute force, pain in the ass, kill yourself work that no one wants to do anyway. That's different than like writing a book, which should be a passion and should convey a theme and a message that a human did. That's different than that. This is just running ones and zeros. This is just, I got to match the shading on his forehead. It's going to take me a half hour to fucking, you know what I mean? Like that level of like pain and agony now can be so much easier and so much more removed. So AI is a fantastic tool in a lot of senses. Do you have something to say? Or?
So there's so many different layers to it where it's like, yeah, technically there's a lot of stuff that uses AI. I mean, technically Final Cut Pro, when I click match source color of frame in a frame, that's using AI and stuff like that. But yeah. I'm still...
Computers have used forms of AI for decades.
And so that kind of stuff I'm fine with, because it's like, okay, well, I'm just matching the color grading. It's not like... I'm not like actually doing anything. Is it going to look as good as if someone else with artistic talent knows what they're doing is? No, but it does the job for me. So yeah, fine. I'll concede with the small little shading features like that. But I also think that humans can do a better job with that than just a robot and stuff.
They can.
Like that.
They can certainly do worse jobs too.
But, you know, I mean, my main point I'll save for the end of this, but you can continue on. That's my main thing right now.
I totally feel that way in the sense of, like, it's a useful tool. I'm creating my vision. I have a vision in my head. I'm trying to execute it, whether it's a book or a movie or whatever it is. And I'm executing it in some way. And the way in which to get there is marred by all of this, like, budget I don't have, all of this time that I can't afford to waste. And I have to make this dude turn into a motorcycle. Apparently I'm making translation. This dude turned to a motorcycle on screen. And if there's a way that an AI video could do it in a convincing way, because again, a year ago it was not convincing at all. 6 months ago it was kind of janky. 3 months ago it was better but not great. 1 month ago, okay, that looks almost perfect. So it's going in the direction of AI will be able to just generate visual effects that way. So, hey, I can execute the vision that I, the human, have had in a way that no longer requires me to use the resources of a studio, pay tens of thousands of dollars to hire all these executives and producers and blah, blah, blah. All these people that would have their own inputs and would want their own fucking like, oh, we want marketability. Oh, we want this. Oh, we want that. Finally, you can bypass the conventional system and just say, hey, here is weapons grade quality visual effects that are going to happen at a certain point that I can produce from my bedroom. So, like, what does that say about how Hollywood is doing? Now, the conversation everyone wants to have are the recreations of likenesses of people that have passed away. You got to understand, like, what is the context? What are you trying to do? So, like, all we can do is point to examples that have happened. So, Rogue One, you want Peter Cushing to go in that role. Let's pretend that AI isn't a thing, deepfaking isn't a thing, CGI isn't a thing. What would you have done? You would have cast someone else.
Exactly.
So immediately, people are just like, oh, that's not the guy. Oh, but it is. We're going to pretend he's the guy. Like what Universal's been doing with, like, you know, Lon Chaney Jr. playing, like, every part and swapping art roles and stuff like that. Wouldn't you prefer it be consistent?
No.
That's my whole philosophy.
I disagree. See, here's my thing. Okay, also, first off, the guy turning the motorcycle thing with a press of a button from home. Yeah, that's great, but it's also the AI made that. You didn't make that. So, just, if you want to do that, then...
But no one else did.
Yeah, but do the work to figure it out. I mean,
well,
like,
then you didn't color grade your shot, Xander.
I didn't color grade it. I didn't do it. I didn't color grade it. I color matched it, and that's
matched whatever it is. You know what I mean.
You're right. I didn't. But you know what? The only reason why that created is because that shot was already shot, and it's just matching and thing. Whereas if I'm just
well, you still did. You should. Because you can't take it like, oh, it works in small parts but not in big parts, because then it's inconsistent.
Okay, but like if you made the CGI animation of the guy turning the motorcycle, then you made that. But if you just AI generated a guy turning a motorcycle, then you didn't. You already said that.
So what if I hand animated it, but then the AI turned my animation into like the color and texture? Would you draw the line there?
You made the models in Blender and stuff, and like you did like that, and then the AI just like continued on.
Well, not continued on, but like took my animation and instead of like a weird pivot model, it like put, you know, metallic parts on it and like used my animation, but like made it look different. It's like Sonic when they redid Sonic. Okay. My AI did that basically. So like I animated Sonic walking around, but I hit an AI button which turns my exact animations into a different looking model. Would you draw the line there?
Was the model created by AI, or was the model created by someone else and the AI is just floppy?
The model was me. I hand animated the movement of the dude walking around and doing stuff, and the AI just changed what the model looks like.
Yeah, but what the model looks like now,
texture,
were those textures made by the AI, or were they made by you or someone else that actually does the texture job better than you could?
Now that's an interesting question.
Because if the AI made the model textures, then no, that's bad. But if you went on like some sort of online place and either paid a guy or just took someone else's work, or like someone had like said, "Hey, I made these textures, use it whatever the fuck you want," and you like went to someone who can do a better job than you, and the AI just like plopped it on, that's okay, because that's the same thing as doing something with like green screen work. You know, like green screen, obviously I'm not painstakingly cutting myself out of every single frame. The green screen is just shaboom.
Interesting. All right, so I have a couple more questions then, because this is the conversation I wanted to have. So if you took Unseen Obsession and Anxiety's Moon and Cold Embrace, because it's not out yet, so I don't know. If you took all three of those, and let's pretend you did Your Mummy one too. Let's take all 3 or 4 of your movies, and you fed them as source material into an AI, and you clicked, generate me a creature movie based in my style, and it does? By your logic, that's okay. Why is that not?
Because it generated all that stuff. I didn't create any of it.
But it was based off of an actual artist.
No. But none of the work that has come out of it was created by humans. That's what I'm saying. Like Unseen Obsession is the best example we can use, because that uses special effects from Final Cut Pro. I didn't go and have my actor Tyler, wear a black velvet thing against a black screen and then just shoot on film and supercompose it. I had him wear a green screen, and I took 2 plates and I took a shot of wherever he was as the background, and then I had him do his stuff in front, and then I put those two on top in Final Cut Pro, dragged and pulled the option that said green screen key, and it keyed out all the green screen stuff to make him invisible. Now that's a program which is what I'm assuming is a form of AI or something. Like there's stuff saying like
there's forms of AI. You know, that's every visual.
That's a form of AI.
Has,
The computer knows, okay, this stuff green, take out, and stuff in there. You know, I clean things up with little masking and stuff like that, and you know, I'm doing it kind of roughly, but I know that it will kind of like follow the lines and do it for me and stuff like that. But you know, all that work, none of that existed unless I hadn't shot and filmed it. Is what I'm saying. If
So let me just state right now, like I agree with you on this point. I was playing devil's advocate to see what you would say, but I totally agree with you that like you wouldn't have done that hypothetical film. You didn't do it. You just hit a button and waited. To get back to the like CGI likeness thing, would you rather it like look consistent, or would you rather it just be a different actor?
I'd rather it be a different actor.
For me, it's like. I disagree because then it's not consistent. Like I like continuity in my stuff, and obviously, couple caveats: you want the estate to be okay with it. You want the actor to not reasonably have said no to doing this. Obviously, that'd be like George Reeves when he showed up in The Flash 2023, right? George Reeves did not enjoy playing Superman. That was a whole thing with him. So seeing his cameo in the multiverse, that one I have an issue with. The rest of them I'm actually okay with. You never saw Christopher Reeve and Supergirl on screen together, even though they're in the same continuity. So that was a really cool, holy shit moment. So I liked what they did there. It's reasonable to have assumed that Mr. Reeve would have been like, hell yeah, I would be in Flash if I could, you know, not be in a wheelchair and deceased right now. Like, hell yeah, that sounds like a fun thing to do. So that's dope.
I never actually saw The Flash, so I can't really talk on Superman.
Yeah, there's a multiverse shenanigans towards the end where they flashed all these different multiverse DC continuities and stuff. The line is drawn at different places for different people. So like for Furious 7, right, with Paul Walker, he died halfway through production. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like you're not going to cancel it. Some people said you should have canceled it instead of CGIing his face, and it's like that could not be more disrespectful to Paul Walker's legacy. He was trying to make that fucking movie.
So this is what I want to tell you on this, because so they CGI'd his face, but they didn't tell AI, hey, recreate him in this shot. They just CGI'd his face. They did what they did in Jurassic Park, where they CGI'd, you know, the character's face under her face for that one shot. A human did that.
But it's still not the actor.
Yeah, but a human did that. A human did that.
But Paul
CGI.
Walker didn't.
Paul Walker didn't, but a human took Paul Walker's face and put it on. That was a human being's work. He did that artistry, that did that. There's a human already going like, okay, this is how it needs to look, this and that. You know, it's the same as drawing, except though they were using digital stuff like that.
So wait, well, hold on. Now I'm confused. Would you have been okay with, say, what's one, like Rogue One, for example, if there were no deepfakes or AIs involved at all, and it was a human CGIing Peter Cushing's head back?
Okay, well that's two different things, but yes, I would have. If we're talking about no deepfakes and like no AI stuff, then yeah, I would have been fine. I mean, like that controversially, really? I'm not gonna say like fuck you studios for like having some guy like that's an artist who got paid for his time and for his work and stuff like that. You know, it's someone did that. It's like my whole thing with like, as much as I hate bad CGI, it's still someone did that. Someone took the time to make that CGI kind of thing, you know?
I mean, someone put a lot of time and effort into creating the generative AI model in the first place that lets you do that. And not for nothing, but like paying an artist versus not. I think I'd rather see AI do, say, a good job with visual effects than see bad CGI by a human.
But that's the whole thing, Jake. The human is the creative part. That's a creative work. You know, you look at, you know, we make fun of the Scorpion King and the Mummy too, and the work that was done on that.
Yep.
But that was made by humans. That was made by something. Someone tried.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it good. Like,
I'm not saying it's good,
like,
but I'm saying that is a creative work by a human being. I mean, it's.
All right. Well, let me ask you this: do you think the visual effects team in 2001, they're making Scorpion King? They're like, wow, this is gonna look like trash. If they had the option to hit the magical generate a good shot here button, and they could with Dwayne The Rock, and I'm oversimplifying it. Obviously, you have to do like a lot of training data. You have to do a lot of CGIing anyway. But like, if they had the option to like use AI to make The Rock somehow look convincing, obviously they would have said yes and hell yeah and done it and made a better product at the end of the day.
Okay.
Obviously they would have done that.
I mean, that's going off person by person. I mean, there's a lot of ethical things, and yeah, you're saying there's a lot of training AI and stuff, but once that training's done, then it's just hitting a button. That's the whole point of why studios want to do it, is because they don't have to pay people. It can be done faster, and then it's soulless. There is soul in artists doing that thing, whether it's bad or not. There's heart and soul in it. Someone did that. Their AI stuff is just soulless. So yes, if someone was CGI peeing Christian's face on, at least someone was getting paid to do that. It wasn't just an AI hitting a button and deep faking it.
So did you see Ghostbusters Afterlife?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so what did you think of that? Do you think that was soulless?
I've never seen any other Ghostbusters film. I didn't even know that guy was dead.
All right, well, do you remember because the ghost?
Yeah, the ghost. Right? So
when he comes back.
That was AI or deep faking and stuff like that. Was that?
Well, he's very dead. He didn't come back as a ghost.
Why not just get an actor?
Yeah, he's.
What is wrong with getting an actor?
Because it looks better.
I disagree. Look, you're talking about consistency and stuff, and here's what I have to say. I'm sorry, but people die. People die, and someone has to continue the mantle. And as much as we want to do this, let someone else take on the role. Okay, let someone else do it. Yes,
I disagree that someone has to take on the mantle.
Okay, you can't get Peter Cushing. Then get someone that can work like Peter Cushing or look like it, or just a couple seconds.
Well, first of all, they did. They did get a guy to stand on set and act kind of like Gaunt, like he did, and like fill in the role, and they'd like put markers all over his face. Like they still did.
Just let him play that. We used to do that before. Let's just continue doing that.
It's not the same. Like it doesn't.
Okay. Wait. Let me ask you. You saw Dr. Sleep, right?
Yes.
Did you enjoy Dr. Sleep? It's a great movie, right?
I did.
Okay.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Dr. Sleep is a great movie. Okay. The scene with Jack Torrance is amazing. In my opinion, that's probably one of the best scenes in that film. Maybe the best scene. It's truthfully one of my favorite scenes.
It's a great scene. Yeah,
great job for justice to both the movie The Shining and the book The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Jack Nicholson. I'm not looking at Jack Nicholson on the screen, but I am looking at Jack Torrance on screen. You're telling me that it's not good because it's not Jack Nicholson? I mean, they could have deepfaked, but they didn't do it.
Good.
So
I'm not saying it's not good. I'm not saying you can't possibly recast it.
But that's a perfect example of they recast it. That's the same character, and it did just as well. Just as well, and there was no deepfake needed. There was no CGI face swapping needed at all. What? So what is that? So tell me, riddle me that, Jake. Riddle me that. What?
Yeah, you can't absolutely. Recasting is an option. Obviously, if they had recast Peter Cushing in Rogue One, I'm sure they'd get an actor who looks a lot like Peter Cushing doing a Peter Cushing impression, just like they did with Jack Nicholson. But why, if I'm given the option between having someone who isn't Jack Nicholson do a Jack Nicholson impression in front of me, trying to be that actor, when I could just... Like, there's now an option that's, again, it's not perfect,
no.
But it's getting better and better.
Now you're looking at it the wrong way. Now, I'm not saying find someone who's Jack Nicholson to do a Jack Nicholson impression. Find an actor...
But that's what he did.
No. He didn't do a Jack Nicholson impression. He did a Jack Torrance. He's an actor who is playing the character of Jack Torrance.
You're right.
You're
right.
The whole thing with these AI stuff is we're focusing way too much on the actor. When... The question shouldn't be, we need the actor. We need the character. Jack Torrance in Dr. Sleep, he did Jack Torrance great, and you don't need AI to create that character. You just need an actor who understands what that character needs to be and needs to act like and stuff like that, you know?
Yep. I agree. Again, you don't need AI. I just think that if given the option, and again, right now it's infinitely better than it was a couple months ago, and a couple months from now it'll be even better than it is now. We're gonna hit a point where it is perfect, and it's probably not even far away. It's probably like less than a year away.
And that's not good.
Where if you, I see. Okay, but let's go with that. Let's say that if it is perfect, which it will be, it's an inevitability. And you say like he's doing a Torrance impression, not a Nicholson impression, but Torrance is Nicholson. So much of Jack Nicholson is in that character, to the point where when they recast him in Doctor Sleep, he's doing very Jack Nicholson-esque things and mannerisms and speeches. And,
yes,
like so.
But
it just.
But the point is, someone managed to do that, and you don't need AI to do that. You don't need to have the face to do that. You don't need the face to be one-to-one to do it. You can just have an actor be
when
that
when I'm watching a movie, I'm invested in the story. Like, I'm invested in the fictional world and the characters and stuff like that. And I don't want to have to think about, oh, this isn't that guy. Oh, but they're pretending he is. Okay, I'll just go with it. You can now remove that element. You know what I mean?
We're spoiled. It's spoiled. It's too much.
You can skip right to there he is.
I think we're spoiled on that. I think we're spoiled on that. That's too much. Where it's like, it has to be the actor. And this goes back into, there's no original films in Hollywood. We keep doing the same stories. So now we're not only just keep doing the same stories, we're now doing the same actors. We can't get new actors, and we can't do new things like that. But it's,
you can get new actors for new characters.
And look. I'm just saying. No,
like, there was this one thing that happened. If I might interrupt you, there was this one story that came out which I thought was just total BS. Where this studio wanted to, it was like an independent studio, and they wanted to make a movie based on this book or whatever. And they're like, we're going to use modern technology and cast James Dean. And I'm like, no, the fuck you're not. Why would James Dean, how could you have possibly assumed what James Dean would want this, like, random fucking book with? Like, there's no history of James Dean with this fucking random book. The estate signed off, but, like, just hire literally anyone. Then you don't have any CGI to do. You're doing this as a stunt. That's the only reason you're doing it.
Okay, but
so
like,
it's not like you should just hit AI for every single thing.
So here's my other thing. You mentioned Romulus. You still haven't seen Romulus, right?
No, but I know the ending.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing with Ash, completely disrespectful, one, to the actor, and two, completely unnecessary in the terms of the story. The fact that it's Ash has nothing to do with the story. It's not the same Ash. It's just the same model of robot. And obviously there was a guy playing that character, so you could have just had it be that guy. Like, he could just, again, it could just be a Jack Torrance thing. You don't need it to be that actor. There's just no reason to it. It's needless. It's for the sake of nostalgia, and like I said, you're spoiling yourself. You're wanting way too much when it's like, I'm sorry, that person's dead, that person's gone. Move on. We gotta move on, okay?
As long as the family's estate is okay with it, as long as it's safe to assume that the actor would not have disagreed to have done this, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. The same way that, like, when you put up a statue of, like, a war general.
Okay, all right.
Is that disrespectful? It's the likeness of the exact person you're trying to honor.
Now, but again,
how is that not?
My argument is, AI didn't build that statue. A human being, heart and soul and blood and sweat and tears, and someone getting paid went into making that statue.
I disagree. I don't think that makes the shot or the final product any better or worse, whether or not it was a human or an AI.
I think it does. Ethically,
I think what
does.
makes it better, because we've seen infinite examples of humans doing visual effects and they blow. Like,
okay,
it's
so
not
they
like,
blew.
oh, a human did it, so
they
it's good.
blew. But at least someone made it.
That's my point.
Okay, and there's infinite examples of
well,
humans doing visual effects, and they look fucking amazing.
Yes, you're absolutely right about that. So, all right. So my point with that is that, like, yes, the human chiseled the statue. A human being did that or whatever, but they still did it as hard as they could, one-to-one with the likeness of the person they're trying to do. And so is the AI, and they're doing the exact same thing. And I'm telling you, man, if you had an AI scan someone's face and then, like, 3D map where it would be on a statue and then 3D print it, that's a statue made by an AI that is not disrespectful to the actor involved at all.
Yeah, but the AI made it.
Yeah, but the AI, so it's still a statue, and it looks fine. It looks like the actor.
But it's just
The actor's not flipping his shit because you AI generated a picture of him.
so obsessed with whether or not they could, you didn't stop to think if you should.
You should.
You shouldn't.
I'm saying
you shouldn't.
you should.
We have opened Pandora's box, and because of that,
and it's a
people...
better world.
What? What? You're saying that the fact that studios are now trying to fire writers because AI can write scripts, or fire visual effects artists because AI can do visual effects, and fire other people because AI can do that. Studios are firing people because of the AI can do the job, and the more the AI does...
When Carrie Fisher died during production of episode 9, they did the Xander-approved approach of not doing anything new with technology and just reusing outtakes of her and just fucking throwing it in the film. It was terrible. It was like the worst creative decision they could have done. It impacted her story and the characters.
Yeah, well, there's about 50 billion things wrong with episode 9 of Star Wars, and chiefly being that it exists. What's a better example?
Like, we can talk about episode 9 a different day, but that aspect, I think, was a critical error. And I'm not saying they necessarily should have CGI whatevered her, but that is like the patent pending approved of like, oh, hey, well, you know, we're clearly avoiding using modern technologies that we've used before to make everyone happy and appease all the fans, because that's what all that movie tried to do. And it ended up being a bland, even more soulless version than if they had just done that in the first place.
I can't...
But humans made it.
I can't believe it.
Humans made it, so therefore it's a good decision. I don't know.
I can't believe what I'm hearing from you, Jake. Look, AI didn't make Thanos. If we continue on this path, there will be nobody making these movies by things. Yes. AI can do all this work much better and stuff like that. But there should be a line, because if we just continue to let AI do everything, things are not going to be as soulful. We've already seen this with AI-generated art and stuff.
I feel like this is the same argument as when CGI was first invented, and they're like, well, now there's going to be more props.
No.
Now everything in Hollywood is going to be fake as
fuck. The difference with CGI is that someone is working on that CGI. There's a human behind it.
But you're now robbing the opportunity. You're now taking money out of the hands of prop makers from the 80s that were going to be employed but now aren't, because you can generate all your effects. It's the same thing.
And but what did we see? But you see, here's the thing. What have we seen with CGI? People still want live action props. Now people who do more prop effects and don't use less CGI, those films are more respected. Those films are more loved. Those films, people will go, fuck yeah, that's realistic stuff. It's not just CGI.
So you're telling me after this amazing generative technology was introduced in the 80s and revolutionized things, that people still use props in movies to this day and people still like them? Then what's the issue with AI 30 years from now? Because I'm telling you, people are still going to make real movies. People are still going to write scripts and shoot shit on camera and use whatever technology there is to make visual effects that exists, and they're still going to make movies made by people, and people are still going to like them. That's still going to happen. That's not going away.
It could, though. It could.
Did it? Because literally at no point in history has it ever happened with every major technology breakthrough.
Look, I'm telling you, Jake, we've opened Pandora's box. This is the whole point of Jurassic Park. This power has been unleashed, and we don't care to keep it in check.
I am for keeping it in check. We'll be in the middle here. I am absolutely for putting restrictions on massive amounts of power, and we're stemming away from like movies now, but like misinformation. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna generate a video of me fucking a goat and show that to my family, well, you should probably be, at least thrown in jail or fine. Like that's you're actively spreading misinformation about somebody. So there should absolutely be like a checks and balances system with AI. It's not like this creative, insane free-for-all. Everyone should just do all the stuff all the time. And not for nothing, but checks and balances already exists because of our favorite guys, the Universal Monster people. Bela Lugosi won. I think his son or his grandson was the lawyer, and he fought and won to keep Lugosi's likeness always something that goes to the family. So like the family of the estate after the actor has died decides what happens. So even if AI is flawless, like if you hit the AI button and you can generate Avatar 17 in 10 seconds, even if that can happen, you can't use any of the actors in that movie unless you get super duper permission from everybody. And I'll tell you what, in a world where that is true, the actors are going to get serious fucking paydays.
But here's the thing. I don't want a world where I can generate Avatar 17 in 2 seconds.
You'll still have movies that are
made
for you.
I don't want movies made by AI. I don't want that world where I can generate any movie I want in 5 seconds.
The question is, what do we do about it, right? What with this new technology? What is the best course of action? The
best course of action is not doing what you're doing and saying, yeah, we should just let AI continue to exist in these parts. We're trying to. That's why we need to cut it off here. It's starting to get too far because if we keep letting out, we're going to find that reality. So that's why we have to do it. And unfortunately, that means, yes, unfortunately, you don't get your 5 seconds of nostalgia where you see Chris Reeves as Superman in 5 seconds. Boo-hoo, move on. I don't know what to tell you, Jake. Listen, I'm going to say this right now, considering Universal Monsters. If I, right now, today, was able to make my Wolfman Dream movie, and I had the option to click a button and have my actor look exactly like fucking Lon Chaney Jr., I would say no.
Okay. I mean, even if you had legal
Even if I had legal permission from Bela Lugosi's estate, Boris Karloff's estate, Claude Rain, Lon Chaney Jr., even if I could have every actor look exactly what I wanted to with AI, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't fucking do it.
All right. I mean, there is something to be said there because it really depends on the context, right? Like, did you write Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein Part 2, and are you trying to make that movie, or are you just like hitting like, write me and make me this own?
Even if I wrote Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, and I had all the characters be the same, and it's that exact same Wolfman Lon Chaney, I would get actors. Even if they didn't look alike, I would just get actors that can fill those roles. The actor that fits Lon Chaney's Wolfman the best. The actor that fits Bela Lugosi's Dracula the best. People that have soul and care about these characters, that are able to embody and embrace and do justice to those characters. That's what I would do. I would never take the option to have the AI make that look.
But what if a team of visual effects people were like, hey, we're going to hand CGI recreate their heads using CGI? But you said that was okay.
That's okay.
You said that was okay with Peter Cushing.
Whoa, Jake. I said that's okay because there's a human behind it. I didn't say I want that. I didn't say I wanted that. I just said that was okay. Okay. We're talking about devil's advocate and everything like that. I'm just saying I wouldn't do that. See, I'm putting my chips on the table of what I want, what I believe in, what I would do. This is me saying it right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right, that's fair. And then I guess we've reached the end of our journey here because that's where we're gonna probably find the dividing line here on how we feel. Look, I just want to be clear to the audience here. Be creative. I want people to make their own things. Don't use AI to make your own thing. Like your storytelling, what you want to do with the characters, where you want them to end up. Look, it's so important that. I'm only saying this because, multiple cases now of ChatGPT prompts being left in the author's books. How many cases have there been where they are not so careless and taken the ChatGPT prompts out and just left and just, published this ChatGPT half-ass generated fucking book that no one knows about, that they think it's a person? I think that's deceptive. You know what I mean? I think that's genuinely, a deceptive practice. So, I'm so against AI replacing creativity. I am so for AI fostering creativity and letting your creativity shine in ways that it couldn't have without AI. That's what I'm in favor of. That's exactly where I stand.
Okay, well then here's an interesting question. So then you're fine with what happened in Late Night with the Devil?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the extent of what went into these pieces of artwork. I don't know if they just clicked the make me an artwork button or if they actually photoshopped shit.
They just clicked it and they said generate these images.
I'm sure what happened is that they generated something and then tweaked it with Photoshop.
No.
I'm sure that was the case because it's like when you shoot a daily, you don't just throw that in the film and you're done. You color grade it, you time it.
Well,
you do
from
some
everything
level.
I know and read, they did just click generate and they threw it in.
All right. Well, I really don't think, but let's go with that. Even still, even if that was the worst sin ever committed by man, it is still less than 1% of the film. So the film should not be marred down by it. I hate that the entire film is bogged down. It's a great talk, and we'll have this one too. The Brutalist, where Adrian Brody some sections of some of his dialogue in the pure Hungarian accent, I think like less than 10 minutes of the movie, depending on, I'm not going to time it, it's a 3-hour film, but some parts where he's speaking Hungarian, some of the vowel sounds were modified using an AI re-speecher to sound more historically accurate to Hungary in those speeches. Now, he won Best Actor. That's a deserved award, because even if you hate what happened, 99.9% of what he did was unedited in any way. And people are saying like, oh, it's an AI performance. No, it's not. Fuck you. Like, he put the work in, and he did that.
Well, in the case of The Brutalist, in the case of Late Night with the Devil, I 100% don't think, because I read some letterbox reviews on Late Night with the Devil where like he was like, I feel so betrayed. My entire family, heart and soul, is just dead. My whole night's ruined. This whole movie is completely fucking awful. That's completely just going off the gun and being incredibly dramatic, saying that because there's AI stuff in there, it ruined the entire integrity of the film. The whole film is completely awful. I disagree with that. And I disagree with saying that because some vowel stuff is done, that Adrian Brody's performance is gone. I'm not saying that if there's AI stuff in already made works that it completely makes the entire experience sour. I think that's going to an extreme side of something that just is not needed. But what I am saying is that it needs to be taken out, because if we continue on this road, that it's going to get worse, and that we need to cut it off here. And unfortunately, that means that we don't get the Peter Cushing recreation, or we don't get some historically accurate stuff. We don't get that thing. At the end of the day, art is art, movies are movies, and there's a suspension of disbelief that we all have to accept. And in this day and age, we continue to refuse to accept the suspension of disbelief, where we pick and choose, where we're willing to believe that a guy can fly or turn into a werewolf or transform into a car, but for some reason we're not willing to believe that this character is this character because they don't look like this real life actor.
No, but you've seen plenty of films where the flying effects were ass, and you did not, in fact, believe that a guy could fly or a guy could turn into a wolf.
Okay, but that's the thing. If we keep practicing at it, it looks good. Eventually, it does look good.
Yeah.
If Thanos had come in early 2000, he would have looked like bad. But the reason why he looks so good is because artists have been working on CGI since then. Yes. Scorpion King looks awful. But because Scorpion King looks awful, that's how we got to Thanos looking fucking amazing.
We haven't touched on this a whole lot, but like CGI has used AI just in the fact of processing, like Caesar with Planet of the Apes, right? It's not like a human painted each strand of hair on Caesar's head in every frame. It'd take 10,000 years to make that movie. It's obviously they generated some textures around the apes with 2010's technology that could do that.
Yes. But again, like I was saying with my examples and stuff, those textures were created by a human.
Not always. Sometimes they are generated. I know it's like a bad word, generation, but like these programs like Houdini, like they can do these like fluid sims, cloth sims.
Well, now we're going into things that I have no idea about. I don't know what I'm talking about, but
right. I'm not exactly a visual effects expert either. I'm just saying like these computers, Photoshop has used AI for decades. Like the replacement tool, the stamp tool. So like. It's just, for me, it's like, this is the next logical extension of what computers have always done, which is help people.
And
I'm so for
And
that.
I think, I'm not. I think it needs to be cut off here. I think we need to stop. And we're not going to. Right. And eventually, our world is going to become Jurassic World Dominion, where we have flying locusts and Sam Neill losing a hat that he got saved from Jurassic Park 3. Well, let me ask you this, actually, just because I did bring it up.
Yeah.
If you could make your Universal Monsters film, and you could use the likeness, if you had the option to click the button, would you click the button and generate Bela Lugosi and Lon Chaney?
So I will say this, out of curiosity, absolutely. I would absolutely see what happened just to see what the hell's going on. And I think you would also say yes out of curiosity as well.
I don't want to know.
On. Not even just to see what it would be.
I don't care. I don't want to open the box, Jake. I don't want to open
Box
the
has been
box.
open, bro. We're living in the box of the world. The world is the box,
Okay,
and it's
well,
big open.
in the hypothetical world, if I open the box, I'm not opening the box. But anyway, so you're opening the box. Continue.
If the question is like, let's say I shot and produced a film, ship-shaped, top to bottom, hunky-dory, let's go, and I'm given the option to now AI their faces
That's what I'm saying.
into
Yes, that's
whoever.
What I'm saying.
If that's the question at hand, I don't know. The real answer is I don't know. I think what I would do is pull a Zack Snyder and do the Justice is Gray edition. I would do a authentic Lon Chaney Jr. edition on the DVD. Be like, hey, this is what I did with some fucking cool shit, this technology, and now it looks just like one of those films. But I release it as like the, Benicio del Toro. I don't know who the fuck's playing these people.
Absolutely awful.
That's what I'd probably do.
Absolutely awful.
That's not awful. What? I'm giving the world what they want. I'm giving them the movie that you want, the normal one. And then, if you're curious, you can check out this weird fucking thing.
Okay. Well, you know what? At least your answer is consistent with your strange takes on AI, Jake.
I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and go through this really in-depth, complicated subject that neither of us are experts on.
That's true.